All right, joining us right now is senior Congress leader and former Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan. Thank you very much, Mr. Chavan, for joining us. My first question to you is, how do you look at this crisis from the Congress party, a party which has also been witness to cross-voting in its ranks? How do you look at this crisis?
Well, as you rightly said, we are facing a twin crisis. There is a crisis within the Congress party. Many MLAs did not abide by the party whip. They did not vote for the candidate, designated candidate. As a result, the first preference candidate of the Congress party lost in the council election. And we should have actually got both candidates should have won. We lost one of them. But the one who lost was our first preference candidate. The second preference candidate won. So there was definitely some cross-voting within the party between the two candidates, and there was a cross-voting across parties. That means some parties voted for BJP. It's a very serious matter. And the second crisis, of course, is the crisis of the government, the Maha Vikas Aghadi government of three parties. Apparently, some members of the Shiv Sena have deserted Shiv Sena, have gone with Mr. Eknath Shinde to Surat. What is the number? We are hearing different numbers. The latest number that we are hearing from the official sources of Shiv Sena, there are 1 plus 12 MLAs. Many of them have also called saying that we were taken to Surat by deception. We didn't want to go. We didn't want to leave the party, but that is their internal issue, I think, and I'm sure they'll resolve that soon enough. But unless and until there is a majority, we lose our majority, the government is safe. Now, to break the Shiv Sena needs 2/3 MLAs to leave the party, which is about 37 members in a party of 56, 55. One of them have expired some time back. So 55-member party split will require 37 members to walk away. Definitely, Mr. Eknath Shinde does not have that kind of a number. The number that we are hearing is about 12 or 13. So if they cross over, they'll have to lose their membership and they'll have to recontest election, the very popular and famous Operation Kamala. Now, this whole operation, right from the Rajya Sabha election, which took place 10 days back, and the council election, which took place yesterday, this whole operation is being conducted from Delhi. Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, the leader of the BJP in Maharashtra, rushed to Delhi yesterday to seek directions from you-know-who, and there were meetings in Delhi, and directions have been given. The financial arrangement for the elections were all done from Delhi. That is our information. Huge, massive horse trading took place, and people were induced to vote, leave their party and vote for BJP.
Sure.
The result, one of our candidates lost. But this is the continuing exercise from the Rajya Sabha election.
But you know, Mr. Chavan,
now, yeah.
You know, my question is, while you allege that this is the BJP central leadership's doing, whatever is happening, the point is that there were chinks in the armor, in the Aghadi. The fact that there was a person who was upset enough to go to Surat. So unless there is a problem, how will anyone engineer anything? So
Well,
do you admit that there is a problem in the Congress with cross-voting, problem in the Shiv Sena with people being so upset that they would go to Surat?
Well, in any coalition, okay, there are issues. There are people feel slighted, people feel insulted, people think they should have been given more serious responsibility. All these issues are there. In this current case, apparently Mr. Eknath Shinde thought that he would be the designated chief minister in a three-party alliance. So that did not happen. I don't know what the internal arrangement was, but it was agreement of all the three parties, the NCP, the Congress and the Shiv Sena, that this government will only last against the BJP onslaught if Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, who is the leader of the Shiv Sena, himself lead the government. They have a majority now. So it was agreed that Mr. Uddhav Thackeray would lead the government. He is leading the government. There's no problem for 2.5 years. Mr. Eknath Shinde has very creamy portfolios. He got the all-important portfolio of urban development. In addition, he has the all-important portfolio of roads, the prestigious Samruddhi Mahamarg, Mumbai to Nagpur highway, which was conceived in the Fadnis government, when also Mr. Eknath Shinde was a minister in Fadnis government. He continues to be minister for roads, for highways in Maharashtra government. So he has got two very important portfolios which he wanted. And I don't think 2.5 years there was no problem. Suddenly he discusses Hindutva. Suddenly he discusses he doesn't want to work with Shiv Sena. He doesn't want to work with Congress and NCP. Obviously, the third party left is BJP. So
no, Mr. Chauhan, let me ask you this question, and I'm glad you mentioned the point on Hindutva, the plank that Mr. Eknath Shinde is using. Do you feel that the alliance was formed on this very obvious fault line, which was very prone to these seismic activities, especially along Hindutva? That will Shiv Sena's Hindutva be close to the BJP's Hindutva, and how will the Shiv Sena ever work in Congress with the Indian National Congress? Do you think that this was just waiting to happen?
No, I think 2.5 years did happen. Somebody is inducing people to switch parties. It's very obvious that huge money has changed hands in inducing MLAs to leave their parties and vote secretly for BJP. But the point is, his point is, see, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, now that he's running the government, he cannot take a very, very extreme position, which he can as an opposition leader. So he has to run the state, he has to take all the people in the state along with him. And as you know, BJP only has a very small percentage of support in Maharashtra. Although they get a lot of number of votes, they don't have a majority. They don't have more than 50% votes. Yes, there are certain people who follow BJP ideology, but a lot more people do not accept BJP ideology. So
you think, Mr. Chauhan, do you think that the BJP got this confidence that they can engineer a split, perhaps form their own government because of the 134 that they may have reached as a result of cross-voting, giving hope to the BJP? And in that context, do you feel, Mr. Chauhan, that the alarm bells that were supposed to ring in the Aghadi did not ring in time? This cross-voting happened in Rajya Sabha, this cross-voting happened during the MLC elections.
No, I think the matter is, it is a timing which is decided by the BJP leadership. Now, suddenly, it is not that they suddenly have money and they did not have earlier. They decided this is the appropriate time to usher in the Operation Kamala or use massive horse trading in these elections. That is their decision. As you know, this whole operation is being orchestrated from Delhi. Mr. Devendra Fadnis flew to Delhi in the morning, had important meetings with senior leadership.
No, but then Mr. Chauhan, that's my question. With a party which is so hopeful to see 134 votes in their 134 of the MLAs by way of various cross-votings that have happened, which is why they claim that they have the support of 134, 135. That's what Chandrakant Patil is saying.
Votes. No, they got 134 votes. There's no dispute on that. The point is, this is secret voting. Now, these MLAs... Mr.
Chauhan, this is why I'm asking, don't you think that the alarm bells...
not win the election.
Shouldn't the alarm bells be ringing in the Aghadi?
Why now? It is a serious matter. Serious matter. We lost one of our colleagues, the Dalit colleagues particularly, who was slated to be number one preference. He lost. It is a very serious matter for introspection. Not only people voted and joined BJP, but apparently there were also interchange of votes among the two candidates, which is very, very difficult, very difficult to understand, and I think it's very bad for the Congress party. There was some problem in the management, I think allocation of votes for the people who managed the whole affair. It is a serious matter for introspection for the Congress party. But let us not forget, this was financially engineered, and I think these votes will not, these people who cross-voted will not be able to vote openly with BJP because they have to go back and face their electorates who elected them on other party tickets.
Prithviraj Chauhan, my final question. You said that through official channels, you have learned from your alliance partner that Eknath Shinde has the support of 12 plus 1, which is about 13 MLAs. Now, unofficially, the information that is coming out, a list came out which showed the support of 22 MLAs, and this can grow. Mr. Shinde says that he has support of more. Are you then saying that he will not be able to cross the 37 MLA mark to engineer a split in the Shiv Sena, where he himself becomes the Shiv Sena then?
Well, of course, if he gets the support of 37 people in a party of 55, then of course he can split the party and he can even become the chief minister of the state. He can dictate his terms and he can even get whatever he wants. But will he get 37 members? That's an issue. Of course, I am not an authority and how many people are there with Mr. Shinde. I'm only quoting some news reports that are coming up, that he has got about 12 other MLAs with him. There are some from my district of Satara. Many people have also called in. I won't be able to tell you their names. The families are called in saying our people from our family, the MLA from their family
taken in forcefully,
abducted. So I think this has to play out. And let's see how many people they have. If they have the support of 37, they should go to the governor right away. Or go to the election commission right away tomorrow morning. But they don't have the support of 37 MLAs.
All right. Prithviraj Chavan, thank you very much for joining us, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.